Hello everyone, welcome. Today we have a very special video. The set design notes for Alchemic Revolution has dropped. I just wanted to make a quick video of glancing over everything, giving you my impressions of it, and going from there. Keep in mind this is set design notes part 1. We'll cover more what that means at the end of the video, but this is not all they are gonna share with us. There is going to be more. So in this, they go ahead and show us the remaining 3 classes, Guardian, Cleric, and Ranger, and they show us exactly what they will be doing and their main mechanics. And now, before we get into it, out of the 3, I was most excited for Ranger, but after reviewing everything, oh my gosh, Guardian is going to be so amazing for just my playstyle and what I'm looking for in this game. And I'll tell you why right now. Guardian is going to be, as you believe, a protection based deck. You are going to be protecting your little allies on the field. And by doing that, your level 1 champion is going to be gaining taunt on enter. You're going to have a lot of protection spells. But in addition to that, Guardians, they protect, but they also attack. And you're going to be attacking for some big damage. You're going to be spending resources, but those resources will feel worth it when you're hitting almost double digits. And you're going to hit double digits just because on enter, your next attack's going to get +3. It sort of has a pseudo warrior style, which kind of why I'm resonating with it a bit since I've played nothing but Lorraine since the game's come out. But pretty much they confirmed that he's going to be a protector. You're going to be able to have board control. You get to safely remove allies off their field while protecting your own. And then your level 2 is used for removal or just a big hit. And with those big hits, we look at his signature weapon, the Bulwark Sword. I'm sorry. It's a 2/2, but class bonus +1, so you'll always be a 3/2. Stronger than any warrior sword currently in the game. The only downside is you're gonna have to pay 2 to attack with it, and that's where we're sort of getting in on the high value or high cost for a lot of value. Um, but I still think it's worth it, especially when you pair it with a heavy swing. It's a 6-drop. Uh, it's a 6 cost, still 6 damage, but if you are a guardian, it costs 2 less. So for 4, 5, 6, and a level up, you're looking at 11, 12 damage just from that level 2 combination if you have that. And that is going to be very strong and can end games. So we've seen effects similar to this though with Devastating Blow in set 1. So we already kind of figured that Guardians will be hitting hard, and you always got to be careful about that. But yeah, very big attacks and at higher cost compared to other attack-based classes. And then we get to see some Master of Defensive. Take point, we gain Taunt and its floating memory, so you're going to be running these just to get that. And Guardians do, I'm going to scroll up a bit here. Guardians have been confirmed to have the highest health pool of any champion, and there will be no champion that has a higher health pool than them. Because at level 1, we're sitting at 20, level 2, 25, and level 3 is going to be hitting 30. Anyways, back to where we are. Take point, Martial Guard, of course, going to be some damage prevention, keeping allies safe. And the reason this is very important is the Guardian's final mechanic, which we'll get to in a second. Before then, we got another mechanic, which is Steadfast. Steadfast means the ally can retaliate when it's rested and does not need to rest to do so. This is going to be a very anti-cleavy kind of card. I feel like it's going to be really cool and interesting because you can no longer pick off allies for free if they are steadfasted. And I assume there's going to be cards that give cards steadfast as well. But on a side note, I will be collecting this card just because it's a Valkyrie. I'm a sucker for those. I'll be trying to get foils as much as possible. But the reason I was saying protecting your eyes is important because you have a card worth fighting for, and those cards have the foster mechanic. The foster mechanic means that at the beginning of your recollection phase, if that ally has not taken damage, it gets fostered. And what happens when it's fostered depends on the card. Imperial Recruit will get +1 attack forever, and Recruitment Officer, you get to dig through the top 5 cards for an ally, add it to your hand, so pure generation of value. One thing to point out is they do show Foster is not a class bonus exclusive mechanic, as the Imperial Recruit has Foster but not class bonus. So you can run that in other decks and really take advantage of that in a control style, or if you know your opponent won't be playing allies as much, you could play a Foster card and get that free Foster. And that. Um, Now we're gonna go to the fan favorite of Cleric. Everyone's been looking forward to it. The goal of the Cleric class was to make specialized in magical spells similar to a mage, but with a deeper focus on interaction, which means we're gonna be more defensive, more preventative, and we're gonna get negation effects. So we may see some more things like Frostbind. And Cleric's method of winning is more roundabout. They are going to be doing some weird, complicated stuff. And the reason we say that is because their ability on enter here for their level 1-2 is they're going to be gathering herbs. This is a brand new mechanic and introducing tokens into Grand Archive. And herbs are pretty much random generated tokens that you get by rolling dice onto the field. You have 6 herbs. They're in groups of 3, or groups of 2, so 2, 2, and 2. Your abilities you get from them are gain a level, recover 1, or put a card from your hand on the bottom and draw a card. Now, what's even cool about this and why they have the dice and the little symbol is because in the starter decks, we're going to be getting a D6 with the special herb icons just so we can have these and be able to roll. So I really like how the devs introduced a new mechanic, introduced something that's going to be very different in the game, but also said, here are the resources for you to use it, and you don't have to open up tons of packs or buy extra things. Everything's right there. And that's super helpful and awesome, especially for new players who just get in the game. They don't have to hunt other stuff down. They could actually just open the deck and play. And along with herbs, we're going to be able to brew some potions. So with brewing potions, you can play them normally and sacrifice them to get their effects, but you can then brew, which is their new keyword, where you could sacrifice herbs instead and play them for free. For instance, the Potion of Healing is just any 2 herbs, but the Essence of Blizzards is exactly 1 of the Catalyst and 1 of the Adjuvant. And there is 3 Adjuvant, 3 Catalyst roots. And then in addition with potions, we have infusions as well. We can modify the potions to gain effects later on when we do sacrifice them. In addition, we have potions that just, bubble and gurgle a little bit on the field until they're ready to be poured into someone's mouth. With the elixir, it gains a counter at the recollection phase, and then you could sacrifice this at any time. And you can move all those counters into buff counters on an ally. So it could be a really cool win condition. We haven't really seen anything that deals with items yet, so I'm super curious if we're going to get item removal. But yeah, and then in order, in addition to just brewing herbs and potions and everything like that, we sort of figured, but Cleric will all focus on memory manipulation. They're going to want to be in balance. They're going to want to be able to do things and scale of souls. But in addition, you're going to get rewarded for having multiple cards in your memory. So you want to be able to put a lot of cards down, and you can get bonus effects. And then we move to our Ranger. The Ranger is inspired by MOBA and RTS games where you can kite, which pretty much means you could deal damage, run back, deal damage, run back, all without your opponent being able to hit you. And I think they did a pretty good job at just that. Let's take a look. We see Diana, Keen Huntress, level 1. And the thing is, she actually doesn't have an ability as a level 1 champion. She does nothing when she's materialized, nothing inherited on board. It's not until you get to level 2 is when she actually becomes useful, because on level 2 you could banish her from your lineage and you could get your gun out. And then in addition, this Diana on enter, you can materialize a bullet for free, so you pretty much get your gun and can load it up right away. And she has an inherited effect, range 2. The range 2 is a new mechanic we have for rangers, I'm sorry. For rangers, that pretty much is if you are at a distance, or what's the keyword? If you are distant, you get plus attack equal to your ranged amount. And we'll get into that later as we get to the allies. But we'll look at your rifle. It's True Sight, Spell Shroud, can't be removed pretty much, which is a very smart idea because it would be very bad if the whole class was based around this, and It was removed to fracturize. But we got bullets as well. And with bullets, we have a new keyword, which is renewable. If a bullet is renewable, when it leaves the field, it goes back into your material deck. But you're like, oh no, do I have to put all my material deck cards as bullets? No, because it has been confirmed, and we will see it here in a second. There is main deck bullets as well, and they are elemental with effects. So pretty much it tells you that guns are a special attack. They are a special keyword as well, as you cannot use attack cards in conjunction with weapons. You can only load bullets into guns and use them like that. So bullets are like your weapon cards for your ranger. Now, distance and ranged. So as I was saying, ranged is a bonus to attack as long as you're distant. Distant is a generic keyword that any ally or unit can become if a card gives it that. So for instance, Imperial Rifleman enters at a distance, which he'll get +2 attack, and then at the start of your next turn, he loses that. It has to be close up. An Airship Engineer has ranged, but is not distant. But if you have a unit with distant, you get to draw a card into your memory. And then Evasive Maneuvers prevents damage and makes something distant. Keep in mind, your champion itself has the ranged keyword, so making her distant as well, it will be very helpful into getting bonus damage. It's like a Lorraine level 2 effect that doesn't draw a card, but you get it whenever you want to. In addition, there's going to be cards that help you reload your guns, so you're not sitting there with a blank rifle and not being able to attack. And here we see a main deck card that is a bullet that has added effects. It's like a Chilling Touch, but for 2 and deals some damage. But yeah, that is pretty much the Ranger's whole gimmick. The whole shtick is you're going to be loading up a gun and shooting your opponent. It's unfortunate if they do play against Sylvie players. We do have to put the squirrel and the bear and the wolf down, but it's something that probably we'll have to get used to. Anyways, that concludes showing off Guardian, Cleric, and Ranger classes, and now we're well informed about the upcoming classes and hope they're excited to play. I know I'm very excited for Guardian. As we get closer to release, they will be releasing set design notes number 2, which is going to be the advanced elements, which is Astra for Cleric, Umbra for Ranger, and Neos for Guardian. In addition to that as well, everyone, we have more ALC spoilers on our way. The content creator spoiler season is starting on October 23rd, so make sure you keep your eyes out for that. And if you really want to support me, I have my video coming out the 29th. I'm super excited to share the card I have with everyone, and I can't wait. It's the set. I'm so hyped. I love this game, and I want more. But with that, go ahead and put in the comments down below what you are looking forward to, what your favorite champion is, and what you're hoping some of these spoilers will be. And with that, I hope everyone has a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.